And we're live.
And we are
Episode 75.
75, and we are joined by Daniel Eiskant. Did I say that right?
Nah, you got it. You nailed it.
Oh, man.
I'm on a roll, bro. I'm on a roll with these name pronunciations. I'm just waiting for the one guest to be like, that's not how you pronounce my name. And I'm just going to be like, oops. You know? But yeah, welcome to the show,
Welcome
man.
to the show, Daniel.
For those of you who may or may not know, Daniel is in Ninja Warriors. For our Spotify listeners, he's wearing an American Ninja Warrior shirt because, again, he's on the show.
Mm-hmm.
We were just saying before we started recording, this is literally like our childhood NBC
Yeah,
action.
that's crazy. And it's
You
like
had the
all around the
white
world.
house.
I was
Yeah,
in
you got
Lebanon and he was in Kuwait, and like
I was in
everyone,
Kuwait,
all
yeah.
the kids all around the world are watching American Ninja
And
Warrior.
and it's hosted by like two hosts, just like our show. One is white, and the other has a really long and hard to say name. I'm not even gonna attempt saying it, but it's true though. Let's be honest, it is true. Am I wrong? Am I
No,
wrong?
you're not wrong, man. It's pretty
There you
long
go.
one. Got like three consonants in one go. Like,
I like him. Cool. Right. Let's get into it.
Let's
So
jump right
why?
into it.
Yeah. Why did you decide to
Yeah.
go on Ninja Warriors? Like, what was the reason
Man.
behind it?
I mean, honestly, so like it started kind of like how you guys said, like with childhood. I've been watching the show since I was like probably 15
Okay.
years old, 14
Mhm.
or 15 or something. And I was one of those couch potato people who was like, oh, I could have made that. Oh, I would have made that. Like, every time they like fall or miss a swing or something. And then like, like time goes on. I mean, I'm swinging around playing at playgrounds, just like sort of messing around doing whatever. And it comes time I'm like 19, 20 years old. I'm like, okay, so you actually got to be 21 to compete on the show. Let me like try and start training seriously, see if this is something I could get into, actually do. So it was kind of a funny story. Back in like 2017, like summer of that time, I hit up some of the people who competed from my area, just like slid in the DMs on Instagram. And I was like, yo, how do you guys train? What do you do? Where do you go? What are some of the gyms I can check out? Help me get into this, And they were like, all right, well, start out rock climbing with us. And they were actually super welcoming, super open. So they were just like, yeah, come on out tonight in DC. We're going rock climbing. Come hang out with us,
How
chill,
old were
see
you?
what's up.
How old were
I
you?
was 20 at the time. This was
Wow.
like a few months before.
And you were
21.
climbing with the Ninja Warriors?
Yeah, man. The
What was
guys
that
who were
like?
like, I mean, they were all older. They were all like, I think 30 and up at that
Mhm.
point. One of them was like probably like 28, 29, but they were like, yeah, all right, we'll take you on as like our little nephew kid, like, ninja son. It was pretty cool. So we started climbing for a few months, and then
Shinobi
by like August,
training.
they took me out to a gym. Yeah, no, it was crazy. We brought some of our climber buddies who like were just climbers out too, and they like couldn't do some of the ninja obstacles that required feet because they're just like these super strong climbers. They don't have to do anything like that. Like they warped wall and stuff like that. It took them a good minute to get up to, and I was like, oh, word, I've seen this enough times. Just straight up, So it was pretty cool. I originally started it because it looks like so much fun. I thought it was something I could do, and I was like, let me see how far I can push my limits, see what's up.
Have you ever did rock climbing or wall climbing?
I
Rock
did.
wall climbing.
I have done those. That's a
You
lot
know
of
how
fun.
hard those are.
Yeah.
I
It's, but it's a lot of fun. Just
listen,
climbing up
As
with
a
the
kid
harness
to
on.
this
Mhm.
day,
Mhm.
anything to do with workouts is really not my shtick.
Well, rock climbing is one of the funner ones, I'll say, from all the
Yeah.
workouts, because it's like you're just climbing.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Did
Yeah.
you do the ones where it's like you had to like invert backwards and then like?
Yeah, the
Oh
pro
yeah,
ones.
get like upside down type thing.
Yeah.
Like underclings.
Oh
Yeah,
my
man.
God.
Those are.
I
That's
was
where
like,
it gets tough,
I can do that.
You can do that, Dan. You can do
No, I
that,
can't.
like the pro ones.
Yeah, so those, I mean, I think the first time I ever saw something like that was when one of the guys, I think it was Brent Stephenson, made it to stage 3 way back, and he got to the ultimate, he passed the ultimate cliffhanger and got to the hang climb, which was basically that upside down rock holds, like
Mhm.
trying to climb up to the next bar. And that was the first time I think I'd really seen like rock climbing or anything like that. And I was
Mhm.
like, yo, what?
Like
It's
they do
crazy.
that.
It's
Do you
wild.
do
But
that?
then you get in.
How do you practice that stick thing where you go? "Ah,
Oh, the salmon ladder.
yeah.
Man, that is like I try to tell people, because I coached for a while too, for like a
Mhm.
good year and a half. I coached Ninja Warrior for kids and teens, and what I tell people is like, if you can do a clapping pull up, like you do a pull up, jump up, clap, and then catch the bar, then like you can do the salmon ladder. It's the same kind of technique. You got to be
Mhm.
explosive, and then you got to just remember, like, while you're coming up and like take that momentum, throw the bar up above you and just catch it in the next one, and just hold on for dear life. It's like riding a bike. It gets easier the more you do it.
But
All
like
right.
the thing on Ninja Warrior is like people fall randomly. It feels like it feels like the people train, like they can do the
Mhm.
moves over and over again, but like someone slips up a lot of the time.
Yeah, like
That's
this human error has no place when you're
Mhm.
actually competing because
Hmm.
all these days and months of training, and then you just slip one, and you're like, oh shit, here we go again.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of the sport, right? Is that like no matter how strong you are, how consistent you are, it all comes down to like I could probably me and so many other ninjas could probably do any obstacle you throw at us in isolation. Meaning like you give it to us and we can just complete it like one and done. Easy peasy. The thing that's tough about competition is you got to put together a perfect run. You fall once, you're out. You got to make sure you get everything perfect in succession.
Hmm.
So it's linking that all together in one fluid run. That's the challenge that really comes up for a lot of people. So that's the thing. Everybody respects the sport that like anybody could fall anywhere, especially when it comes to like balance obstacles. That's like the great equalizer.
That is, man. And how do you cope with like all those people watching and like, it was
Man,
like
I mean,
everyone's.
How many people are
I
watching? Do you know how many people are like live? Just like I mean, the people in the crowd.
in the crowd, I'd say probably a few hundred.
Okay.
They try to pack out the stands as much as they can. So sometimes the producers will go and like give people signs to hold up and be like, yeah, hold this if you want to like get on screen for like a few seconds. Try and like
And
pack out the
everyone, I
audience
guess,
more.
over there is like basically an attention seeker. So,
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, at that point, and then you got your friends and family that can come up on the sidelines. They let you get like a few people come up and run along the course side with you, which is pretty cool. But to be honest, I had stage fright for like a long time. I sing, and that was kind of my shtick that they pulled me for the show last year. Is that I was in my a cappella group in college, and before I joined that a cappella group, I had like mad stage fright. Like I couldn't get up on stage and look at so many people and speak, let alone sing or perform or do something, right? But after I got into that, we started having gigs on the weekends. We started performing for other schools and stuff like that. It just sort of got easier and easier to the point that like, you guys have seen the season 11 episode where I was on, they had my a cappella group behind me singing
Yes,
like right at the starting line. So that was like, having the guys behind me, like I do on stage at our concerts and things like that it was like a real big help in just sort of getting rid of the nerves about to tackle that course.
please, what song did they sing? I have to know.
We sang a remixed version of "Oh Danny Boy," "Oh Danny Boy," right?
Yeah, okay.
Um, and I rewrote the lyrics to be like "Oh Ninja Boy," basically, because I was
What?
Danny Boy. So one of my friends had to sing it. But
Oh, you guys missed the perfect opportunity to do "Eye of the Tiger" or like,
see,
one
and
of
that's the
these
thing is that,
songs.
like when it comes down to it, ninja is like it's become a sport over the past few years. That like we've got our local circuits, we've got our national ninja league, and everything like that. That's sort of becoming like the pro sport version of it. But
Hmm.
American Ninja Warrior, the show, is at the end of the day, it's still a reality TV show.
Mhm.
So
Hmm.
when I was talking with the producers, they were like, "Oh, you sing? Let's get your group out here. Let's see if you guys can do songs." I was like, "Okay, sweet. Here are some songs that we know." And they were like, "Yeah, so all of those are actual songs and we can't pay for royalties. So you have to do something public domain or original." So we were like, "All right,
That
we already have this arrangement of Danny Boy. Let me rewrite the lyrics. It'll be public domain, no sort of copyright issues." So, but I swear, like it would have been Eye of the Tiger or something hype like that if it was my choice.
that's
Oh well,
amazing.
it was.
I didn't
That's a
yeah.
shame. They should have. That would have been one of the greatest episodes. Like the episode was good, but if they did Eye of the Tiger, would have been
Tiger.
just that much better, man. Like
Absolutely,
just
absolutely.
imagine, like you're just like duh, 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 duh. You know,
Yeah, right.
you could yeah, exactly. You can literally time your shit with the beat, and you'll
I
get
did
it
that. I
done.
mean,
Like
I'll release I'm gonna post my submission tape for it in probably a few days. And I did that with most of my obstacles. Like whatever soundtrack I put
oh,
on there, I tried to time it with like the clanging of the bar. So
nice.
Nice, nice, nice.
So since it's a reality
Mhm.
TV show, in the end of the day, is any of it staged?
no, as a matter of fact, that's the cool thing. I mean, they have so if you watch and you see like the people who get features and they get interviews and everything, some of that is like they'll bring you in kind of like I mean similar-ish to how we're doing right now, except they'll like ask you questions and then you give them an answer and they're like, okay, here's how you can word that to make it better for TV, quote unquote. But that's
I
like
mean,
the
for
extent
us,
of it.
it's no
Everything,
hold bars. It's just nothing controversial that will get me killed.
Yeah,
right,
it's true. Mhm.
That's
right,
it.
right. So like everything that happens on the course, obstacles, failures, falls, successes, all of that, that's completely authentic and candid every time.
That's interesting. So they don't be like, okay, we want this person to be the winner, so all of you find a way to mess up. They don't.
No, I mean,
No.
not to my knowledge, no. I mean, I've been on it 2 times. I don't know. I wouldn't expect any sort of foul play like that to have happened in the past.
I mean,
The show's been going on for 11, 12 years now. I don't think there's anything like that in the higher levels.
Because there are some game shows, by the way, that it's all like super scripted, but they don't tell you that, and like they already know who's gonna win. Like
Talking about WWE, like wrestling.
No.
Right.
Something like America's Got Talent, Arabs Got Talent.
They fake those?
Yeah, they fake those. Arabs Got Talent, especially.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Wow. I didn't know
They
that.
even like if someone comes
How
in
do you
and
know
they wanna
that?
sing, because there was a guy that he's a blind Arab, like Kuwaiti flute player, right? He went on Arabs Got Talent and he lost. So he went on a famous YouTube show that's like in Kuwait here. And he was like, the guy is known to ask the hardest questions. So the guy got out his lawyers and he got a contract out. He's like, we will pay for any lawsuits that is pulled against you if you answer the following question. The guy's like, okay. He checked with his lawyers. They signed everything. He completely exposed them. He's like, everything is fake. They already choose who's going to win. They already they backdoor half the stuff. And it's like, that's why I started to be a little bit like with the, with the reality TV.
That's like talent shows, I feel like, but like more athletic stuff. I feel like they won't fake like soccer or basketball. I mean, they could. Or like
there are ways they can.
There's been incidents of people like point shaving and specifically throwing games for bets and things like that in sports. That I mean, again, like I'm pretty certain that there's nothing like that on Ninja Warrior. At the end of the day, everyone's running the same course, and none of us know what it is until we get there. So, whoever, like, if you fall, you fall. You don't really. Not many people would fake that. I don't think. I don't see any reason why you would. Everybody, at the end of the day, everybody wants to hit a buzzer. Like, everybody wants to get atop that warped wall and hit that buzzer. So.
Oh my God, that wall! I don't know how they do it. Like the speed you need and the amount of like.
You mean the curved
How
wall?
do you do it? Yeah, the curved wall, and then you.
That's very high, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's 14 and a half feet on the show now. I'd say it's more technique than anything. Like at this point, I can run up a warped wall from the base of it, like with my feet on it. I don't need to run up at this point because it's technique. It's based on like long strides and explosive power in your legs, and then just like keep your eye on the top and reach for it as soon as you feel like it's in view. But they've got. Now they've got the 14 and a half foot regular wall, and then they've got the 18-foot mega wall, which wins you some extra cash if you get up there. But I haven't gotten to the wall in qualifying or in competition yet. But last summer, I spent my summer in California. There was a gym out there that had a 20-foot mega wall, and they had like cutouts at 17, 18, and 19, and I could make it up to 19. So I'm just like, get me to that wall. I'm getting up that mega wall. You already know.
You already know.
And you fell before in the water, have you? Okay.
Yeah. So
what's it called?
It's freezing. It's so cold.
I really want to, dude. I thought it would be like lukewarm, room temperature.
You would hope, but like even outside it's cold because like they tape overnight and they tape in like the springtime. So I've been on 2 times now. So season 10, it was up in Philly, which is already cold anyway. It was like the first week of May, so it was just barely getting into like real springtime, and that was cold. But then last year they had it in Baltimore in April. Right next to the water. So it was like, all right, we're all cold anyway. They actually had to bring out like heaters next to each obstacle if you like needed to warm up your hands or anything. So falling in the water, dude, it was cold. It was freezing cold.
And like, do they have a staff ready to come and throw towels on you and stuff? Or is it just like, all right, go dry yourself, buddy. We'll talk to you.
I mean, they expect you. It's part of the application questionnaire, actually. Like, can you swim? You need to be able to swim. And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. There was a guy who got on one time who fell in the water and couldn't swim, and he like freaked out when he fell in the water, and it was like shallow enough he could stand, and they still had to have people come help him. But you fall in. It's like they'll direct you to which side to get out, and then when you get out, they've got the cameras there. Like, how'd it go? Like, where'd you fall? What went wrong right there?
You know how much I hate it when they do that. I hate it when they do that because it's like you just did a hard course and you're tired and your brain is just thinking, sports. You're not thinking, well, you see what happened. It's not just that. It's like they ask you, okay, so what went wrong there? And you have to like think of something smart to say, but you're just like, what the fuck happened? How did I slip? You know? So
Exactly,
it's like,
man.
it's hard. Like I hate it when they do that. I'd rather they just wait, you know, give the competitors just time to think about what just happened.
Yeah.
Then
Sometimes
ask,
they
you know?
do. I mean, if you usually in like finals courses or city finals courses, if you get farther than most people, then like you fall, they'll give you a couple seconds to dry off and then go over by the railing and then they'll ask you questions. But it's just the whole time it's a lot of cameras in your face, a lot of it's like I said, it's reality TV, but it's still a sport.
I mean, fair, I guess. But since it's a sport, was there ever a case of competitors basically using drugs or like drug enhancements and things like that? Like, was there ever a case that you know about?
Not that I know of, to be
But do
honest.
they
I
drug
know
test you?
they don't drug test. So for the show, they
Oh,
don't drug. And again, it's not like they don't screen you like they would for like the NFL or like the
Mm-hmm.
NBA or like professional sports like that. It's they don't test you or anything. It's all based off your application, your submission tape, and then they'll call you and say like, hey, we'd like you to come on and compete. So as far as I know, as far as my knowledge, no. But everybody sort of uses their own different combination of vitamins, supplements, and sort of hormones, whatever they need. But I don't. The thing that the ninja community prides ourselves on is that we're like typically upstanding members of society, and like we try to show people that like everything is success through hard work and determination and actually doing things the right way. So something
fair.
I would not expect any sort of that kind of activity among the whole community.
Okay,
That's
that's
fair.
fair.
Mhm.
Fair,
And they
but
let
like again, you
yeah.
never know it,
Who do
right?
they let in,
Yeah.
Daniel? So just like anyone can apply, and then like what is the like criteria they're looking for?
Yeah, so anybody can apply. They it's actually kind of funny. Like I said before, I was excited because you got to be 21 to compete on the show. On my 21st birthday, they dropped the age limit to 19. I was like, "Are
Nice.
you kidding me? I waited 5 years. All right, cool, whatever." But no, they have a website where you can go submit your application. It's got a whole questionnaire of like, what's your background, what's your story, what's your athletic background, what is like this, that, and the third thing about you and who you are, and like why should we put you on the show? And then you've got to submit a 2 to 3 minute submission tape along with it. Literally anybody can apply. You don't have to have any sort of background or expertise or anything. If they decide like, let's put this guy on TV, then they decide, let's put this guy on TV. So usually that's application closes up in like December, January time, and then they start making calls around March.
All right.
Cool.
And your sports like
Interesting.
parkour? That's what your sport is, or
My background is actually tennis mostly.
tennis?
But then I did start getting into parkour and climbing right before I got into ninja. And it was when I decided I wanted to start doing ninja that I wanted to build up those skill sets first of like being able to move efficiently, know my body, and then also build up that strength and problem solving before I tried to jump into obstacle courses.
You play any video games?
I do.
Yeah. You play Assassin's
games you
Creed?
got in mind?
You play Assassin's Creed.
That's my favorite game series, Assassin's Creed, period.
That's the fun. Which Assassin's Creed are like your favorites?
Dude, Black Flag #4 when
That's
you're
fun.
pirates is like one of the best. Odyssey, the most recent one in Greece was really good. I actually really like that one. Those are like probably my top 2.
Wow. Can you climb like him?
As a matter of fact, yeah, we had me and my friends had a birthday brunch before all this quarantine stuff happened out in like one of the town centers nearby, and there was like a Sephora makeup store nearby, and they had like just enough like real estate on the ledges outside the building that I could get my fingertips on there. I was like, I mean, we had just got finished with brunch, bottomless mimosas. Everyone's kind of feeling it. I'm like, I bet I could climb that. Someone was like, Dan, don't do it. I was like, I'm going to do it. And then I start just like scaling the side of this building out of nowhere. Someone like starts putting it up on their Snapchats, and I'm like, all right, let's start it down.
Well, the thing is, I'm trying to find your like full run because I want to do a little segment where we say, we talk about what was going through your mind when you were like, or you can describe to us how you were thinking, but I can't seem to find a full run. Unless you can
It's on YouTube?
Yeah, I don't think it's on YouTube, but they have it, like all the episodes are on NBC's website. And then I think if you scroll down my Instagram back to like last year, I have the full thing posted up there.
Yeah, check his Insta.
All right. What's your Instagram?
It's at Dan Eiskant. At DANEISKANT.
Eiskant. Oh, Danny boy.
I had to
A
take
year
that
ago.
after the announcers went ahead and nicknamed me that because of the song we sang. They were like calling me Danny Boy the whole run. I was like,
That's
hey,
your character
I'm
name
Danny
now,
Boy.
Danny
It
Boy.
is now.
Is- All right, so here, let me share a screen. At least you can help me out by telling me if I'm close or far away from where you posted it. Is
sure.
Am I anywhere close? Do I go up or down?
Yeah, go up a little bit. Yeah. Scroll back up. It's
Down.
right there in the middle, right there. Yep.
Oh.
All right, so let's see. What was going through your mind here?
Man,
All right.
all right. So right here, I'm just like, first obstacle, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. I've seen so many people fall on the first obstacle.
Oh,
It was
yeah?
the new one that they put in for the first time, and I was like, man, I've been practicing on like quad steps back and forth like they always have. I am not gonna. This is not what's gonna happen this year. No.
Yep, and you reach and you jump onto this, right?
Nice.
So,
Yep. Get to that rope. Rope was chill. It was everything's a lot smaller when you're actually.
and
up
who are
there in
the?
person. It looks.
Is this your
that's-
family?
Yeah, that's my two younger brothers, and then my mom and my dad.
Nice. Shout
All
out.
right,
Mhm.
nice.
Yep.
They must
Get
have
up to this
loved it.
Double twister. Oh, they had a
How'd
great
you
time.
how'd you do this?
This one, I mean, I saw a lot of people taking extra swings, and I was like, they're not that far apart. Just like generate a lot of power in one go and take it, you know.
Nice.
Laches and like big swings happen to be my forte, so I'm just like, I'm
The
chilling.
Mama's Boys
Guys-
a cappella group? It's called
Yes, sir,
Mama's
that's
Boys? All
them.
right. Shout out.
So this one right here, this obstacle right here, this was brand new. It was called Dangerous Curves. It was really daunting because you got this part right here in the middle that spins around, and they turned that into a GIF and tweeted it during the episode, which was hilarious. But it spins around like that, and this is a lot more upper body early on in a course than you're typically going to see.
Mhm.
And the boards twisted side to side; they shake. So there should be, if you go to the right, there's a second part of that, yeah. And so the boards were unstable, like they would shake. They were on a pivoting thing.
Yeah, you can see that they do shake. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you're
so
actually
that was-
moving them.
That's
Yeah,
terrifying.
and the thing is, you don't get any sort of practice time. Like, you don't get to touch any of the obstacles before you get on there. So if they bring up something
Oh.
that's brand new, it's going to be your first time touching it.
Interesting.
So I made it through that. I was pretty happy about that. And then, like I said, here comes the great equalizer of the balance obstacles. This one's the hazard.
Okay, so
cone.
here. You're focused. What were you
Focus.
telling yourself? Like,
So
what were you?
I was looking at that obstacle in front of me. I was like, just lean forward and go fast. Keep your momentum going forward, but just run. Just that's all you can really do at that point is just run.
Wow.
Okay, and
Step.
oh! And then you had long name and white guy, literally like,
Long
man.
and white guy. They were like, oh, Danny Boy in the water.
look at that. Okay, so here, what was your mistake? Let's get into this because this is interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, so they actually put it in slow-mo for a second. My second step was a little bit
Right
further
there.
back than it should have been, and it started spinning, and I lost a little bit of momentum, stepped too low on the third one. I couldn't just push it the rest of the way to the mattress to get to the
Nice.
platform. I tried.
So-
I tried.
So here's
But,
my question: how could you have come back from that?
Well, as a matter of fact,
no. Here's what I meant. Here's what I meant was, like, you know how when you kind of slip, but you're able to quickly regain yourself and get back into the whole thing. So,
Yeah.
what could have been the mistake that you would have done there in that specific part of the where you can easily come back from that?
See, that one, I'm not sure there is one because they tell you, like, on every balance obstacle, they're like, no hands. It's supposed to be feet only. It's supposed to be balance. But if you fall and it's incidental, like accidentally, you don't mean to use your hands, then like you can. I would say if there was some sort of way to just like wrap yourself up around one of them, but then you'd be kind of hugging it like a sloth underneath. You know?
Yeah,
Like
you'd just be
it would
spinning.
spin as you try to get back up. You like at that point, you
More
you can't
embarrassing,
really
yeah.
save yourself.
And then you just
Right.
hang on there for like 2 minutes and then you fall.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And
That one
you
is definitely one of the-
hit
'cause,
that
like,
really hard.
I tried, and that's because I tried to launch as hard as I could to like get my arms over top and just hold on and
You
like
almost
climb
did.
up above it, but I
Mhm.
almost just couldn't quite get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you hit your face, by the way? I thought I saw that.
No, a lot of people thought I did. No, I did not. I was like, oof. Because I got I don't know if you guys know Drew Dreschel. Like he was the #1 ninja before. He was like on the sidelines, like get lower. And I was just like, no, I'm just gonna take it right now. I know my body. You don't know me. Come on.
Is that annoying when people are like shouting things in your ear when you're trying to do the run?
A little bit,
And
but it's
look like
it's something you learn to tune out. You learn to sort of take it as like it's all noise. There's a bunch of noise happening regardless. There's people cheering. There's the announcers. There's like your fellow competitors and that's the funny thing is nobody's ever cheering like fall. I need to make it to the next round. Everyone's rooting for each other. It's a whole huge community of like even if it's down to the last two people, it's like you're still gonna cheer for the person to do better.
It's all about sportsmanship in the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone gets to win and not everyone, loses all the time. It's all about the support. And when you have that great support, just things are funner that way.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So are you planning on, you're currently in the next one, right? You're training or what's your status with Ninja Warriors now?
Here's where it stands right now. It was back in like early March, I got the phone call to compete on season 12 this year. And then quarantine happened, COVID hit, and United States is not exactly handling it well. And by that, I mean they're handling it absolutely shittily. It's terrible.
And I'm glad we can agree.
To be completely honest. But what ended up happening this year was they called us back and sent out like an email and we're like, hey, so as you guys are probably aware, there's all these restrictions going on. We definitely have to cut down the number of competitors this year. We can only really run one location. So what they told us was they're cutting it down from the typical 600-ish to about 150 this year. And anybody who got a call this year but didn't make it past the reselection round for, quarantine restrictions and everything, they get preference for next year. So I actually did not make the cut for this year. They're having like a very abbreviated season, just like a few episodes with like a limited amount of competitors. And what they told us was that people who got picked this year but didn't get to compete because of the virus, you get preference on next year. So 2021 season 13, I plan on coming back strong.
Nice. Let's go. And we will be watching that episode, probably live streaming and watching and just
we should do that
100%. We'll do that.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll have you back on as the winner of the American
More than
Ninja
happy,
Warrior
dude.
show.
I'd be so happy to.
Amazing.
That would be amazing. Just to because I mean, in the end of the day, you're more likely to make a mistake because it's your first time. So we wouldn't blame you, So, but this time you have no excuse. Better bring back home the trophy.
Are you training, Daniel?
I'm trying to. Most of the gyms have still been closed. So, like rock climbing gyms that I go to recently opened back up a few weeks ago. Sadly, my favorite gym that I actually used to coach at and that was like my home base for training, they had to close their doors for good a couple weeks ago because of the virus. They just couldn't sustain.
Wow.
But so it's a lot of us have been mostly just trying to train outside, do things on like trees or rocks, or just like go out in nature and actually do some outdoor climbing type stuff. Honestly, I've gotten back to where it started, which was just swinging around to playgrounds on like the monkey bars and stuff like that, just seeing how like, can I throw a big move off of this and catch something else and, see what's up. But I'm trying to,
I mean, end of the day, training is training, You
Exactly.
might as well keep where you're at instead of slowly decline in your, momentum. So
Exactly.
I wish you all the luck, and I can't wait to watch 2021 season 13 with
Absolutely.
Danny Boy. Right?
With Danny Boy.
I'm being serious. We will watch it with our reactions as a podcast episode.
We love it.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Cheering you all.
That sounds fun.
So,
I'd love to see it.
Daniel, do you see I want to ask, do you see the course, like, when do you see it? Because you said they don't tell you beforehand, right? So is it like when you're running it is when you see it, or is it like you see it beforehand, the whole thing?
So they give you a walkthrough beforehand.
Okay.
Here's how it goes. Usually they have some people who they've picked for interviews or B-roll footage or stuff like that they might want to feature. They'll have you come down a day before and do like some hero shots. They'll take some photos, do some photo shoots and stuff like that. And sometimes you can like see the course off in the distance from where they're at. They usually have it somewhere away from the course, but you don't really know until the day you get there for your check-in time. And then once you get there, check in, sign in, everything, whoever's in your wave, they usually have like a afternoon and an evening wave typically, but they'll take each person and they'll take you all in a group and just walk through the course, tell you like, all right, this is this obstacle. You guys have seen this, and they'll have someone demonstrate it. And they'll have time for questions like, can you grab this? Can you touch this? Can you use your feet on that? Can you use your hands on this? And things like that. And the producers will answer like, no, yes, don't do this. Obviously don't do that. Things like that. And it's just time for people to ask questions, sort of formulate their game plan, see like, this is how I want to attack this obstacle, and sort of start planning out ahead of time. but it's just like you don't get to touch any of them. You get like you see somebody demonstrate it, and you get a few hours to plan out like this is what you want to do. Ideally.
Do you call anyone? Like, do you have a coach you talk to, or is it just like you on your own? You figure it out.
I mean, the community's pretty tight knit, so a lot of us are mostly friends. We'll just sort of talk to each other, just like talk shop. Like, yeah, what are you thinking about this one right here, where you're gonna have to swing kind of heavy? And someone will be like, yeah, I'm thinking of taking it continuous and try and just get through it in like one fluid motion. Other people will be like, no, I'm gonna go the safer approach and try and just like make sure I get enough power each swing, stuff like that. And we all just sort of talk together. I've never had a coach because I started in just like training with some other people that was like my training group. But there are definitely like some people do have their coaches that have helped them out, and especially like the younger competitors who are like 19, maybe 20 years old now, who've been working with guys that have been doing this for a while. So and usually they'll have their coaches there, and they'll be one of their sideline members. So
Amazing.
Amazing. I guess we have reached our time limit for the day. Man, I wish I could talk to you more, but I have my exam tomorrow, so I gotta run and study.
good luck, sure.
Thank you, bro. If you guys made it this far into the episode, be sure to subscribe, do all that stuff. Season 13, 2021. Support our boy Danny.
Support our boy Danny Boy.
Right?
Yes.
Our boy Danny Boy. And do you have anything you want to shout out? Anything you want to let the world know?
Man, I just want you guys to know that well, how much time do we have? You said
no, we got some time.
I mean, we got like 5 minutes.
We got some time. You can tell us, yeah.
So
let the world
I don't know if you guys have heard, but there was recently a bit of a scandal in the American Ninja Warrior, like the American side of things. Drew Dreschel, the guy who I mentioned who had won it last year, like big name in it, he was arrested last week for charges of child sex crimes. And the whole community has been sort of reeling from that, dealing with a lot of confusion, a lot of difficulty sort of working through our thoughts. And like a lot of people were friends with him. He'd done a lot of good things for a lot of people. He'd been coaching for a while. He's opened a few gyms. And I just want to make it clear, like to anybody who's watching and to anybody who knows Ninja Warrior, knows what happened, heard about this, that like every ninja is speaking out right now. That's not what represents us. That's not the ninja community. And that is not anything that we would ever sort of condone or represent by any means. And Ninja's always been a community where you guys can come and just with a spirit of improvement and spirit of bettering yourselves, you know. And he's sort of betrayed that trust across the entire community and the people that he's coached. So just want everybody to know, if you guys watch the show, if you guys know what's going on or anything like that, you can still trust in us and count on us and trust that the community is going to be back better and stronger next year, and that this sort of thing is not tolerable. And we're all going to be stronger for it on the other side, learning from these lessons.
All right.
Yeah.
That came out of left wing. I did not expect that. I'm going to be completely
respect.
honest.
No.
Yeah, no, obviously. Like, well, the actions of one person represents that person himself.
Mm-hmm.
That's my number one, like, thing that I believe in, that no one represents a mass community. No one represents something larger than they are, unless the people themselves say that person represents us. Mm-hmm. That's a different story. You know,
absolutely.
So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, whatever he did, you know, does not represent you guys. I mean, just speaking to you, you know, I'm pretty sure you are definitely not that way. You know.
Yeah, never.
My guy. See you soon.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. Wait, you've watched any of our old episodes, right? You know how we.
I saw a couple of them. I got you.
Salute to Cover the Camp and peace.